Alright guys, welcome back to the Southern Cup Golf Etiquette video series. I'm here with Grant Smallwood, and he's just going to kind of let us know what we're doing today.
So today we're going to talk about tee box etiquette while someone's teeing the ball up in their pre-shot routine. We'll also make it to the fairway and to the green to make sure that we're doing the best thing that we can do while someone else is hitting.
Alright guys, so today we're going to focus on kind of three main key points when we deal with kind of where we should be standing, things like that. We're going to talk about distance, sound, and movement. Those are going to be our three main topics today.
Yeah, and with that, with our distance, we're talking about how far we stand away from the person who is hitting. Movement, we're talking about moving while they're either approaching the ball or whether they're in their backswing and us moving around. And then the other one would be sound and how we're either talking or whispering to someone else or saying something to someone else. So those are the three big things.
So we're here and we're going to start off talking about areas to stand while on the teeing grounds. And the first area we're going to talk about is the side.
Yeah, so what we want to do is make sure when the golfer is in their pre-shot routine or lining up to the ball, if we're deciding where we want to stand, the side being one of the angles is in front of the golfer, so directly in front, and that would help them possibly stay out of sight from the golfer that is swinging the club.
Okay, so we've kind of discussed the side area. I guess if we're rotating around, the next area would be behind the person teeing off.
Yeah, so we would call this kind of the back,
okay,
and make sure we're going to the back of the person. This is probably where 90% of the golfers stand,
right,
while someone else is teeing up. And we need to, obviously we talked about sound and movement and distance, but when we're back, which is where most people stand, we want to make sure we're far enough back, and we want to make sure that we're not doing anything, because a lot of times you're going to get a golfer and they're going to be swinging the club and they're going to catch those standing in the back,
like in their peripheral vision.
In their peripheral
okay,
vision, and seeing that. So we want to make sure we avoid moving and doing those things and when you're standing in the back.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with standing in the back. Just be aware of what you're doing and the sounds you're making, and
that's
kind of those three keys we were talking about.
That's correct.
All right, so side, back, and then the last one would be behind.
Yeah, so we're directly behind the golfer, which is actually completely out of sight,
right,
from the golfer. So if you want to completely be out of sight and not be in any worry, then you get behind them so they can't see you. Make sure, again, you're still working off those 3 points that we talked about movement, about sound, and about distance,
right,
and we would be in a good spot from an etiquette side.
All right, good stuff. All right, guys, so we're here on the green, still going over some kind of etiquette with what we should be doing, kind of talking about those three keys still, but the scenarios on the green are a little bit different. So let's just say if you're on the opposing team, where would you or where should you stand, Smalls?
I would say the place that you want to stand is really out of eyesight or in the line of the opponents. I know a lot of opponents try to maybe get a leg up or read the putt or something. They'll stand on the opposite side of the pin and try to look at the putt, or they may stand behind the putter in the back trying to look down the line to see what the putt might be. So what we really want to do is just stand away from those two areas. If we're standing kind of to the side and behind that we talked about on the tee box, it would still work very similar here at the green and where we're not in their line.
All right, so we've discussed one scenario. The next one would be if it's your same teammate, if you're playing on the same team, and maybe doesn't matter in formats, what would you say to that?
I would say if it's a teammate, especially in a scramble situation, you know, I may be putting first and you may be following me with the putt. You want to see the line, and we typically accept that as good etiquette because you're trying to work as a team and do that. Or you may be on the opposite side of the pin where you can look down the line from the other side and see what the putt does. So that is okay. Obviously, if you're in a singles format of some sort and it's your teammate and you may have helped them read the putt, you still want to move out of the side of them, not behind, you know, not directly in the back or directly in the front behind the pin. We want to make sure we're out, especially in singles.
All right, so kind of the next scenario, what do we want to be doing or not want to be doing when somebody's either kind of in their pre-shot or pre-putt routine, getting ready to putt or roll the ball?
Well, probably one of the biggest things is just the communication piece of it. When you see someone kind of, I know we've used the term in that bubble,
Right.
when they're setting up as a pre-shot routine or lining up or practice putting just before they putt, we really want to just get still and really get quiet. You know, we don't want to ask others, hey, what are you laying? Is this for birdie? You know, what snack did you have for lunch?
Right,
We don't want to ask any of those things. We just want to let them, when they get in that moment, let them have that moment, and then once they putt, we can figure things up after that.
Right,
And I
so
think
kind
another thing is you should be preparing for your putt.
Right.
You know, you should be behind your ball, looking at that. Now, if you're in their line or whatever, obviously we want to wait. We want to be out of their line. We can walk back in once the putt has been hit.
Right.
We could walk back in and see that line, but really we want to be looking at our ball. It's kind of a pace of play thing.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we're speeding the game up by being ready for our shot when it's time for our shot.
Good stuff.
Hey, is this your second shot?
Third shot. Hey, how do you know which one of these is a sand wedge? They got numbers on them.
Hey, are you hitting a Titleist too? Hey, Dan, you're not going to want the driver on this hole. Hey, is this for eagle?
Sweat, you said it was 150? You gonna need a 4-iron?